You know these logos, you recognize them instantly, but you have absolutely no idea what any of them actually mean or where they came from. Most people don't, and the stories behind some of these logos are genuinely wild. Wars, family feuds, dead pilots, a man who lost an argument with a bull, and a badge that was literally designed by a guy who had never seen a car. So today, I'm breaking down the logos of the biggest car brands in the world, so you actually know what you're looking at. Let's start with the most misunderstood logo in automotive history. You've probably heard this one. Someone probably told you that the BMW logo represents a spinning propeller, blue sky and white blade, a tribute to their aviation roots. It's a great story. It's clean. It makes sense. It is also not true. The BMW logo is actually the flag of Bavaria, the German state where BMW was founded. Bavaria's state colors are blue and white, and that's what you're seeing in those four quadrants. Blue and white. That's it. The propeller story was invented by BMW's own marketing team in 1929 in an advertisement that placed the logo over a spinning aircraft engine. People saw it and believed it. The very first BMW logo appeared in 1917. Back then, BMW stood for Bayerische Motorenwerke, which just means Bavarian Motor Works. The original logo was a circle with the letters BMW in the outer ring and the blue and white checkered pattern inside. That basic structure has barely changed since 1917. The main visual updates happened in 1933, 1963, 1997, and 2020, where the most recent version dropped the black outer ring and went with a transparent background for a more modern, flat look. And for the record, BMW did make aircraft engines during World War I and World War II, so the aviation connection is real, but not the propeller. The three-pointed star is probably the most recognized automotive logo on the planet, and the story behind it is actually beautiful. Gottlieb Daimler, one of the men who built the foundation of what became Mercedes-Benz, sent a postcard to his wife in 1872. On that postcard, he drew a star over their family home in Deutz, Germany. The star marked the location. He wrote in the letter that one day, that star would shine over his factory and bring prosperity to his family. His sons Wilhelm and Paul remembered that letter. Years later, after their father had passed, they needed a symbol for the company, so they used the star. The 3 points represent Daimler's ambition to motorize land, sea, and the air. And it worked. Daimler's engines went into boats, into cars, and eventually into aircraft. The original logo in 1902 wasn't even a star. The name Mercedes came first. It was named after Mercedes Jelinek, the daughter of Emil Jelinek, a businessman and racing enthusiast who was one of Daimler's biggest clients. In 1926, Daimler merged with Carl Benz's company to create Mercedes-Benz. The version you see today, a clean silver star in a circle, has been the logo since 1989 with only very minor refinements. In 2008, they cleaned it up slightly. In 2020, they went flat for digital use, same as BMW. Gottlieb Daimler drew a star on a postcard in 1872 for his wife. That postcard became one of the most valuable logos in automotive history. Most people know this one, but the full story is better than the short version. In 1932, 4 separate German car companies merged into one: Horch, DKW, Wanderer, and Audi. Each of those 4 companies became one ring. But here's the detail that makes it interesting. The man who founded Audi, August Horch, had actually left Horch years earlier after a dispute with the board. He wanted to start a new company, but he was legally prohibited from using his own name because Horch still owned it. So he translated his name into Latin. Horch in German means to listen, or to hark. In Latin, that's Audi. He literally named his new company after himself in a different language to get around a legal restriction. The first version of the 4 rings logo appeared in 1932 when the merge happened. Chrome rings were introduced mid-century. The flat single-color version came in 2009. In 2017, the rings got thinner and more refined, dropping all gradients and going with a clean 2-dimensional version of the 4 rings. The 3 ovals. This logo looks abstract, but every element inside it is intentional and layered with meaning. Toyota introduced the 3 oval logo in 1989 to celebrate 50 years as an automaker. The 2 inner ovals form a capital letter T, which stands for Toyota. But those 2 ovals are also meant to represent the overlapping of 2 hearts, specifically the heart of the customer and the heart of the company, shared trust between buyer and brand. The outer oval represents the world, Toyota's global ambition. Before 1989, Toyota did not use this oval design at all. The earlier logo, used from the 1930s all the way through the 1980s, was simply the word Toyota in stylized text, sometimes in Japanese kanji, sometimes in Latin letters. The brand was known by the word, not by a symbol. One detail worth knowing. The Toyota family originally spelled their name Toyota, after founder Kiichiro Toyoda's family. They switched to Toyota for the brand name because in Japanese, Toyota takes 8 brushstrokes to write while Toyota takes 10. 8 is considered lucky in Japanese culture, so they changed 1 letter. The 3 ovals have remained unchanged since 1989. Toyota is one of the few major brands that has not moved to a flat version for their physical badge. They updated their marketing materials in 2020, but the car badge has stayed 3-dimensional and chrome. Most people see the Subaru logo and just see 6 stars. stars, and that's exactly what it is. But the story of where those stars came from is not what you'd expect from a car company. Those 6 stars are the Pleiades star cluster, a group of stars visible to the naked eye in the constellation Taurus. In Japanese, the Pleiades are called Subaru, which translates roughly to unite or gather together. The name and the logo are the same thing, but why 6 stars? The Pleiades are sometimes called the 7 sisters because there are 7 stars in the cluster visible under perfect conditions. Subaru shows only 6. The 5 smaller stars represent the 5 companies that merged to form Fuji Heavy Industries, the parent company of Subaru, in 1953. The one larger star represents Fuji Heavy Industries itself, the company that brought them all together. The original logo introduced in 1958 used a more elongated, elliptical arrangement of the stars. Over time it became more compact and circular. The current version of the logo, refined most recently in 2003, places the 6 stars in a tight oval cluster with a blue background. The prancing horse, which is Il Cavallino Rampante in Italian. If you know anything about car logos, you know this one. But the story behind it involves a World War I fighter pilot, his grieving mother, and Enzo Ferrari. The original prancing horse was the personal emblem of Francesco Baracca, an Italian fighter ace who became a national hero during World War I. Baracca was credited with 34 aerial victories before he was killed in action in 1918. His family's coat of arms featured a horse, and he had the prancing horse painted on the side of his aircraft. When he died, the horse became a symbol of both his bravery and his memory. In 1923, Enzo Ferrari was racing for Alfa Romeo. He met Baracca's parents at a race, and Baracca's mother, Countess Paolina Baracca, made him a direct offer. She asked him to put the prancing horse on his cars. She believed it would bring him luck. Enzo accepted. He added a yellow background because yellow is the color of Modena, the Italian city where Ferrari was born and where the company is based to this day. The prancing horse has been on every Ferrari since. The letters SF inside a shield underneath stand for Scuderia Ferrari, which just means Ferrari stable or Ferrari team. The horse looks almost identical to the one Enzo put on his cars in the 1920s. No flat version, no minimalist update. Ferrari has refused to modernize it because the logo is not a logo anymore. It is a piece of Italian military history sitting on the hood of a supercar. A charging bull, bold, aggressive, and in your face in every way. That is very much intentional. Ferruccio Lamborghini was a successful tractor manufacturer in Italy. In the early 1960s, he owned a Ferrari. When he had a complaint about the clutch, he went directly to Enzo Ferrari to discuss it. According to Ferruccio himself, Enzo Ferrari told him that a tractor maker had no business telling a sports car company how to build their cars. Ferruccio Lamborghini went home and decided to build his own sports car company out of spite. Now here's the bull connection. Ferruccio Lamborghini was born under the zodiac sign Taurus, the bull. His tractor company already used a bull as part of its identity. When he founded the car company, the bull came with him. He also had a deep love of bullfighting and famously visited the ranch of Don Eduardo Mura, a legendary Spanish bull breeder. He was so impressed by the animals that he started naming his cars after famous fighting bulls. The Mura, the Murcielago, the Gallardo, the Huracan, all named after famous bulls or bullfighting bloodlines. The original Lamborghini logo, introduced in 1963, was a black charging bull on a red shield. In 1972, the gold bull and black shield was introduced. The most recent update came in 2024 when Lamborghini refreshed the logo to be flatter and cleaner for digital use, similar to what most brands have done. A man had a bad conversation with Enzo Ferrari. That conversation gave the world the charging bull. The Porsche logo looks like a coat of arms, and that is because it literally is one. 2 coat of arms to be exact, combined into one shield. The center of the Porsche badge shows a prancing horse on a red and black striped background. That is the coat of arms of Stuttgart, the city in southern Germany where Porsche has its headquarters. Stuttgart's name comes from the word Stuttgarten, which means stud farm or mare's garden. The city was historically a breeding ground for horses. The outer frame of the badge with the red and black stripes and the stag antlers is the coat of arms of Württemberg, the historical German kingdom that Stuttgart was the capital of. Ferdinand Porsche took both symbols and merged them into one badge when he founded the company in 1948. The first version of the Porsche logo appeared on the steering wheel of the 356 in 1952. Before that, Porsche cars had no hood badge at all. The story goes that the American importer Max Hoffman asked Ferdinand Porsche's son Ferry over dinner what the badge looked like and was surprised to learn there wasn't one. Ferry apparently sketched the shield on a napkin at the table that evening. That napkin sketch became one of the most iconic automotive logos in history. The logo has been updated in 1963, 1994, and most recently in 2023, where they added more depth and dimension to the badge. Unlike most modern brands, Porsche has not gone flat to maintain the regional history of the badge. The Ford Oval logo is one of the most recognizable in the world, and like a lot of great things, it was designed by someone who wasn't planning to design it. Henry Ford founded the Ford Motor Company in 1903. The early Ford branding was straightforward word marks and various stylized scripts. The script that the current oval is based on was designed in 1909 by Childe Harold Wills, a graphic designer and engineer at Ford who worked as Henry Ford's right hand in the company's early days. Wills reportedly used a lettering style he had designed as a teenager for personal calling cards. He adapted it for the Ford name, and the font became part of the brand. The blue oval itself didn't appear until 1927, when Ford introduced it as a badge for the Model A. The combination of the cursive Ford script inside a blue oval has been the foundation of the brand ever since. The version used today was refined in 2003 and then updated in 2017 to simplify the gradient and dimensionality of the badge. The font a teenager designed for his personal calling cards in the late 1800s is now one of the most seen logos on Earth. If there's any other car logo explanation you want to see, write it down in the comments and I will make a part 2.